we on this? Let's see. Yes, that's cute. Nope. Nope. I promise we'll discuss the Void Gate further, but first I must attend to the matter of the Vault Sentinels. As your instruments have no doubt informed you, the Kakpukulu have been reduced to so much scrap. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it is conveyed to his post along with some fewer lesser constructs. Was the tomb robbers? Friends born of the Tower of Zot? By the sisters, do not tell me the blasphemy yet roams free. I had such guilty faces. Surely it wasn't you who are responsible for this. Oh. Well, the details aren't important. I shall see it done immediately. With that, the vault will soon be secure once more. Now, I believe you had questions? Quite a few, in fact. But I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes? Indeed, which is why I saw it sealed with alchemy before forged lock and warded it with my magic. Such a power must not fall into the wrong hands. In truth, the primary reason for the vault's constructions was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unspeakable horrors. That said, in its current state, it would admit only the lowest of void scent, and from this side no man would be able to pass through. No man? I should think Alphanode would be given a firm enough push. Physical size is only one consideration. The true registration hinges upon the etheric density of a soul in transit. And yet you succeeded in expanding this diminutive portal and sending your spirit clump to the 13th. This is my brilliant alchemist. I should have destroyed the anomaly when I found it, but instead I bade them devise a means to control it. After much experimentation, they accomplished the impossible, a method which conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. But the process has long since been forgotten. Once I have given up searching for Isaja, there was no need to preserve such etheric and dangerous knowledge. Thus the gate lay dormant, for years uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simple thanks to the Crystal Tower. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open a void gate, one bound to coming made with the cloud of darkness. Once that sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the coming was broken, and the doorway severed from its connection to the void. Theoretically, it should be possible to reconstruct the gate by forging a new path with another void scent, but such deals usually end in betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain an understanding of the Bounty Gate, and we could resume the search for your sister. As I have already explained, I put those futile hosts to rest centuries ago. My place and my duty is here now. I had meant to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? It seemed the fabulous wealth from the stories is quite real, if not its rumored origin. I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. Oh. Oh, I've been adding that trove for years, little by little, but the time has come to spend it. I might elevate my people's suffering. Elevate. Then we are one mind. We had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? Excellent. Would you object if I conduct a closer examination of the gate? I would make no attempt to open it, of course. Chrissy, how's it going? Oh, you and your debt that can never be repaid. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have it. You are most gracious. I shall take full advantage of your permission. Slow burn day, just tired. Would that I could join thee in thy study, but the Lord Priests will be anxious to receive my report. I beg my leave of you. You at work? I must be off to Charlotte as well. Mr. Cryle was eager to speak with you about that request, so please come back to the annex as soon as you are able. Farewell for now. You can adjust my finance once I return. You'll not be rid of me so easily. The difficult part in all of this will be deciding how to best put these riches to use. You lend me your assistance in these deliberations. Thank you, Logan. Yeah, alright, ready to see that. I will follow his example. Kira, go to bed. You don't need to look for anything, you need to go to bed. Hmm. I sense the breaching of a gate, but it was not instigated from this side. It was torn open from the other. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. There are more pressing matters at hand. An opportunity is upon us, the coming of which we have awaited for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip our grasp. Yet we must not underestimate he who bested the cloud of darkness, even restrained by a comet. The cloud was no feeble wisp to be disrespected by some flesh and blood mortal. But I let him come. I will drown the world and watch this fleeting fleshling gasp for his final breath and his final moments. Go to bed now! Go to bed! His zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Go now! I really don't care. Go to bed. 'Tis time we set the war in motion and win redemption for our star. Mm. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which crews would benefit most from the monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the Satrat directly, so I ask you to act in my stead. Logan, you are to visit Akai and Yelhamad. Speak with Mestia and his people and listen to their grievances. You see it be do the same at Pakistan. I'll be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant's Gal grounds. Once you believe you have discerned these needs of the populares, we can reconvene at Maghududa. Yes? Oh, Logan, I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat then? Hey, anything the village desperately needs? I suppose Kazil's laws hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best we can. Greetings and welcomes, traveler. If this is your first visit to Tampere, then you must try my special armor lassie. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally, I buy with the 3 bottles for the generous price of 19,800 gil. But for you, I'm willing to go as low as even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. You seen who is Aka? You're the one who was with that spear-toting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame me, man, for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices, I tell you. If I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. At first, the port, well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more, now the danger has passed, certainly. But no small number of merchants have yet had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add to the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kazil and his custodians were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done. God rest his soul. And my advisor's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least, and there are few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. Fair enough. As my inquiries, the people of Pakistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they preserved with some assistance from the Yadamad. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like, and are assured that the jungle provides for their needs for the most part. Pakistan has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself had heard goodness and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of dragon's gall to a foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Tembier has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade, so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Academy and Yelda Mine? Trade, trade, trade. See, without dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Here's why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors in Yaldamed. I am reminded of a child spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beast sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over. So many lives lost. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome. But we may not. Logan, Einstein, I will consider the perspectives you've brought me, and advise a plan to keep my people confront this advisory. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my civil functionaries.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadal's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karzal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. A simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
It takes a village.
Of course. We must all look out for one another. Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name. A fitting candidate. Kalzal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Mirad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. I'm reminded of Ishgard.
Thank you for putting forth Kazil's name. Those who lies he enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner. I bear a message from Archania Stola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood, thank you. Ishala must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I will go with you. The satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Ashwan assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done. I am curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish, allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency.
Right, here we all are.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Then what of the many voids sent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power. To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th.
Burger, haha. I mean, she's not wrong, though.
Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No. The danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th, and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
So much for taking it easy.
Since when were you one for the quiet life? Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, There is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten
Not at all.
Khan, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan?
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daymir was overseeing the project.
Daymir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made void scent?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daymir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
Rob's favorite place to sneak around.
Indeed. Numenon's restricted stacks may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves, I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Khalzal Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
Huh? Oh. So what, does Darwin not have school tomorrow or something? Numerous restricted archives with a minimum of fuss. Then we must secure the permission of the forum. First, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of a person to approach the matter on our behalf. Who you think might be inclined to assist us? No one springs to mind? Charlotte Montrachet. He did come to Graz's defense during the Quarry, after all. To settle, we head to the Phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. Ah, visitors, and quite seen ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive the intrusion, Solich, but we're hoping you might help us secure permission to Numenon's restricted archives. Oh, no further forays into stacks this time, eh? I applaud the newfound sense of propriety, yet in all this wide world of comrade serenity. What so compels you to disturb the vault of forbidden wisdom? Fascinating. I had no idea such technique existed. I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by the House of Demir was laying dormant in Charlin's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross on over into the void. That is in fact precisely what we intend. To when, pray tell? Develop a method of traversing the rift, or one that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future. And yet I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. A scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward. Ha, marvelous. A audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. And after hearing the wise and Whitworth, I, for one, do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. There's no reason not to present your request to the foreign's consideration. Although your pension would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. Why, Master Fortunet, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request from the dear children's most treasured comrades. I was going to approach him directly, but there's no denying that having Master Fortunet on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well, we'll pay a visit to the Levivier estate and plead our case. One last thing before we go. I would consider a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours. I'd wager so if you could see your way to indulge an old man's curiosity. Of course, Sars. But be sure to pass on any revelations. Master Logan, Mistress Yushola, how may I be of service? We come to speak to Master Fortunet. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the Master is in the residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Hmm? Well. Else would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matter of importance to discuss. Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Sergeant Marche expressed much the same sentiment, I assure you. Will not attempt to convert the forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. of course. You do understand that restricted archives are restricted for good reason, yes? If no pressing needs exist, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spreads his efforts elsewhere, watching over people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing of it in his heart. It's no virtual mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue all the same. As one who's feared losing his own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Do not celebrate just yet. The forum must still be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Baldassian Annex. So what did the forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Matoya has burned some bridges here in Charlotte, salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the pensioner for this in question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded, in no uncertain terms, I may add, of the incredible debt we owe you and your companions. The search silenced the grumbles and stifled a few spines, and it was agreed that allowing you to enter to the archives is the least we could do in return. This is wonderful news. Thank you for both speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, I am sure you are aware the permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if not. I wish you well in this endeavor and bid you a good day. They're the same, that one. Uncompromising eye. But that very social is why Charlene needed the guide through not one, but two Exodus. It went rather well, I think. The child dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tombs, and now I can simply walk in through the door. Our focus will be finding the house Demir's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. You'll be heading directly to the archives from here, I assume. Presume correctly. You want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It's been instructed to grant you access to the restricted section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. Oh, it's my pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. What's that? Okay. What? Oh. Shall we? Our opinion is sought and guests identified. Do you wish to proceed into the restricted archives? Follow me if you would. Watch your step and please note that the use of naked flames is discouraged. Naked flames. It's a different way of playing you, I guess.
If House Damir's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
May I talk you for one part? For one line? You go, you jolly nerd. Has something you'd like to show me, do you? My apologies. I've flipped open but a single book and was completely absorbed by the contents. Shocker. Well done, Logan. I think you may have found our prize.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Damia's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about. Among the ranks of the Voidsent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard. From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures. A talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings revealed that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos. How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Voidsent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales. And still, House Damia went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive. It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves? Ah, but that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
As much as I would love to start crafting the Atomos, I'm afraid that This is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we know a Hannish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Demir project. Our audience here is concluded for the moment. Please pass on our regards to the forum. Your message will be conveyed. Should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature, I'll be here. Patron mode disabled. Security mode engaged. If anyone can help us, Nidana can, as they return to Demir and look for her at the Great Work. Let's see. Go over here. And Nidana. Shouts me you are pursuing a most fascinating study, and that you want me to be a part of it. I have no doubt you'll be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Will it now? By the sisters, this is the mark of Demir. I never even knew such a work existed. You should. It's sequestered in Norion's restricted archives after all. It was? But that means every word within it is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tomb filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hand? I can hardly wait to read it. How's everyone doing tonight? To think that Demir was developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many inventators have been lost over the centuries, I wonder. Now that you've glanced over the nose, what say you to helping us build a new mock Atmos? I say yes, 1,000 times yes. Work on a Demir project that has even the redoubtable scholars of Charlon trembling in their sandals, now because of the great work could resist. You are a woman after my own heart. Oh, I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with the big mouth Simclarian once you've built it? Use it. So there's a secret void gate, and sealed in the ruins of the bottom of the bounty. Today's the day of revelations indeed. The purpose of our man-made Atmos is to expand this hidden portal, and I will need to see it for myself, I think. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then by all means, accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we finish gathering the components I require. Charlotte's markets provide the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need to go no further than the font of Maya. The aesthetics of old once favored the place of their meditations, and the water which pools there now is known to enliven the flow of ether. That sounds perfect. If you would be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool, I will pension Vitra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without its authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We meet back here at Aeon. the heck is Shadow freaking out about? You had that blast for me? Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Logan. I think a scene in need of diversion, and we, in turn, may have need of his lance. Right then. Now that our little party's assembled, let's make our way to the ruins. Will we have need of Mystia's boat again? Not this time. Once you shall inform me of our destination, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Achaea. Recently as ever the gracious host, shall we? The ship is yours to command. Alright, thanks. We set sail at once. Oh, this is so exciting. Azil's legacy, to see the truth of a legend with my own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault. All aboard!
The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
You really gotta go to Eeps? I'm not familiar with Eeps.
What is it you're doing now?
There's something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's
Yeah, no
expedition
worries. I
drags on
left it
longer
lurking on
than
my computer.
intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Graha theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But
How
I
you
would
doing
prefer to
tonight, are you?
test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
Maybe send a familiar?
Very good. I see you've been paying attention. As Vritra sent his simulacrum, so too shall we rely on a familiar to bear the brunt of any unpleasant consequences. Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. I
So what's
hadn't wanted
Eeps?
it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
Probably the piggy.
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born.
To be honest, I didn't actually get a chance to really watch it much.
Water, water, froth and foam!
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Oh,
Possessed.
come now. That was adorable.
Well, aren't they adorable? My mic is working, right? Yeah, okay, it looks like it is. Have a good night,
Though
Arya.
not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual. In any case, these two should serve as well. This one will bear a warding scale. And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
Ah, yes, of course.
We should also be wary of void scent slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nidana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well.
I should have said the froth and foam.
And we are glad for it. Let us begin, shall we? Nixies, into the void.
Okay, now they got those creepy smiles on. Popcorn time. They were so cute, and then they got the evil smiles on their faces. You missed it? Haven't had too much crazy, just her summoning the familiars. For froth and foam.
I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side.
scene was hilarious. Yeah, she was possessed.
Thank you, little one. You did well.
The poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
What the hell?
We're out of time. I must reseal the Void Gate.
They're coming through!
Oh, they look friendly.
In the name of Alzadal III, I bar this door unto the void.
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium. Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct then.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation. It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. You remember Una Kalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used the stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals. But those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the Auracite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition? I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Worry not, great Vritra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way. But first, I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could, if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
It's really troubling him. Okay. Once Nadaha succeeds in replicating the mock Atmos, the door into the 13th will be ours to open. Will you be crossing the threshold alongside us? I realize this is more my endeavor than yours. To be honest, I have no interest in visiting the void myself. Can we discuss this later? There's something I must do first. Bye. Why does everyone insist on being so secretive? I at least had good reason for not wanting to explain my Nixie ritual. Shall we proceed with our preparations then? As we saw, the warding scale can be effective as protecting the barrier from other sources of the corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will need to be improved if it's to withstand the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. And I think that this is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemists who created it. Who do we know who excels at this kind of structural augmentation? Probably the Allegians. President wants to availing ourselves of Allegian insights tends to be an involved process in editing of itself. Nay, I believe the more straightforward approach is in order, consulting the engineers at Garland Ironworks. As I recall, Sid himself is no stranger to the void and his volatile energies. With his experienced hand at the helm, I have every confidence that the Ironworks can strengthen the warding scale. Come, let's visit their operation in Regular's Reach and commission their best and brightest. Well, the best and brightest would be Sid. And you know damn well Sid would do it himself. Oh shoot, I don't even have to teleport. Sweet. Save myself 1,000 gil. Oh yeah, what brings you to the Ironworks? Yeah, commission for you and your president, actually, assuming he's available. Understood? Certainly. I'll see if he has a moment free. So he'll probably take care of himself, or else Biggs and Wedge. A pleasure as always. I hear you have a job for us. Head in the void to find a lost dragon. That sounds almost pedestrian compared to your last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after the Meteon and that bloody mess. Alright, let's take a look at this talisman of yours. You said there were signs of degradation. It seems more some manner of corrosion has set in around a scratch on its surface, much as the void's corrosion seeped into Nero through his wounds, in which case our best bet may be simply to prevent the scale from being damaged in the first place. But how might we achieve that? We have a coating agent for straightening trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying any compound with might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. Far safer to dress it in armor. We'll construct a protective casing. One uses a metal alloys with high ethereal conductivity, so as not to impede the talisman's primary function. A suit of armor, as you said. You guys compiled data on the 13th, so I'll have him pitch in with the design just to be sure. But only if it weren't such an ordeal convince him to follow our safety protocols. I swear, I never had such a reckless employee. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the particulars. Understandable. We know how busy your schedule is, and the final result will doubtless be worth the wait. Ha! The hard part will be ducking Jessie and her constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing the fun stuff. We'll see what we can do. Jessie's such a party pooper. I think we can leave the rest in Sid's capable hands. Let's return the great work and see how Nadana is getting on with Mog Atmos.
Hey, Stola. The adjustments are going well, I hope?
'Tis a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records. What I found was a transaction log dated around the same period as when Al-Jadal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components. And I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Harnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am satrap now.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Celestinian told us of your predicament. For centuries you have protected Rads at Han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire? We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement. And yet...
Now you listen to me, Varshan! You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need do is prepare to step through to the other side.
Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again, too.
To protect them well, you must take heart.
take heart and protect them well. Such were the words I once said to you. And here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor Radzatan. My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavnir for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
Take care, and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
Like a baby. You're surprising, Einstein. For a lone wolf, you show an unusual degree of, shall we say, involvement in helping Vitra reach this conclusion. It was for the greater good. The room's stuttering sighs were keeping his citizens awake at night, and had travelers believing the palace racked by some unnatural storm. Wait, of your own answer then. You seem disinclined to venture into the void. When I was one with Nidhogg, his vengeful thoughts were my thoughts, his endless rage my rage, and the soul-chilling grief he nursed for Ratkusker's death. I would not wish such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend and ally. If there is a chance we can spare Vitra that pain, then I will follow you. Informer sounds. We should call on. We're not by our comrades with aught less than a dire threat to start. We four should be sufficient for our purpose. Now on to specifics. Unlike the first, where the flood of light was halted before the devastation was complete, the 13th has been utterly consumed by darkness. My plan, as such, is to explore the void in stages, withdrawing to safety after each brief foray. To be more convenient, had we some manner of base camp nearer to the gate itself. One of the palace chambers should serve. Come, let us reconvene outside Magaduta. And so we required several accommodations. Might we make something available for our guests? All the chambers are presently hosting the great mounds of treasure we carried out of the vault. Once the foundation's activities began in earnest, However, we can redistribute the trove and make a room or two ready for habitation. Good, please inform me when you completed the arrangements. As you heard, we will have you settle in Magaduta in due time. As ever, you are more gracious, Your Excellency. You raise yourselves to aid me in the search of Azida. Providing comfortable quarters is the least I can do. I only wish we knew more about our destination. The gods only know how long our exploration might possibly take, or what our chances of success might possibly be. Success, or succeed or fail, I am grateful for you for convincing me to make the attempt. On that note, I will return the great work and lend what help I can to Nadina. For your preparations to make your we venture into the 13th, now is the time. All I need is my armor and my lance. Perhaps I'll train with the Radiant Host to pass the time before we depart. You know what this means to me, Logan, but my purpose need not to consume you as well. We are headed into another world. Find what joy you can in the experience, for you are a traveler, an adventurer at heart. This I know. Meanwhile, the 13th.
And thus I am returned. To this world, bereft of saviors.
Excellent timing, Logan. Just moments ago, I received word from the Ironworks. They completed their task and are on their way with the reinforced warding scales. Similarly, our alchemists have also succeeded in creating an artificial Atomos. All is in readiness for our journey to the void. I have instructed our comrades to gather at the great work. Let us head there for at once. There you are, Logan. I present to you the fruits of the alchemist's lair, the artificial Atomos. Though we've yet to put it to the proof, its ether is particularly identical to that of the original, a truly remarkable feat in so short a time. Aye, our alchemists have outdone themselves yet again. Small wonder that they are pride of the Raz at hand. She wanted to do something that I forgot about. I would express my gratitude to Indina. It appears that she isn't here. She rushed off after bringing the Atomos to attend to a pressing task, but said that she would return ere we set forth. Which should be shortly after our friends from the Ironworks arrive with the warding scales. Did someone say warding scales? Because it just so happens we have them. Right on cue. It's good to see you all again. But for the President himself to attend, keen to bear witness to our little experiment, are you? You know I am. I was there at the Crystal Tower, at least you forget. I wouldn't miss this for the world. You don't mind if we come along and see you off, I hope. It's thanks to these three that we could finish the work so quickly. It was my painstakingly collected data that made the reinforce possible. The scales will last a good 10 years in the void with nary a hint of degradation. As the ones who did the actual reinforcing guarantee their quality as well. They're safe. They'll keep you safe. But enough bragging. Here are the scales. With these, you can search for my sister without the fear of corruption. I know not how to repay you. Well, my friend, my only regret is that I won't be able to accompany you on this latest grand adventure. Wait. Yeah, is that the matter? Before you depart, Your Excellency, there's something we wish to present to you. Will you please come with me? It would not delay us without good cause. Very well. Forgive me, my friends, but I require a moment. He's here taking his time. What sort of grand present could take so long to receive? The kind that'll help him in the void, I presume. In that godforsaken place, he'll need all the help he can get. But you of all people ought to know that, eh?
My apologies for keeping you waiting.
Vritra, I presume.
They made him
Indeed,
older.
this vessel now serves as a host for my eye. I was aware that the alchemists were busy preparing something, but this...
We couldn't well send you on such a perilous mission unprepared, Your Excellency. We spared no effort in crafting the body, and I dare say you'll find it adept at wielding weapons and magics both. 'Twas our intent to present it to you sooner, but we could not bring ourselves to do so, knowing we could yet improve it further. Pray forgive us.
There is no to forgive. I am grateful for this fine vessel, and shall put it to good use. Again, I ask that you watch over Radzatan in my absence. The dangers we go to face are great and many, and I fear I will be unable to give matters here due attention. And in opening the Void Gate, there is ever risk that Voidsent will find their way into our world.
Rest assured, we are more than prepared. Our soldiers have been training under Master Estinian. On my honor, we will not suffer a single fiend to pass. So, think only of your mission, Varshan. Ah, but seeing as this is a different body, perhaps we should use a different name.
Nay, Vashan shall suffice. Though I may have thus grown up, I am as ever a little brother to you all.
As you say, as you say. Go then, Varshan. And best of luck.
Yeah, keep interaction. I guess that's one way of putting it.
I have something for you as well. While you were gone, Urianger paid us a visit. As you may recall, he joined us on our foray into Alzadal's legacy, in part to conduct research for the Loporrits. Research they were delighted to receive, and which has already inspired them to consider new ways to improve their own treasure vault. As a token of their gratitude, Livingway entrusted a familiar relic to Urianger. Aye, the crystal, which showed the way to Meteon. The Loporrits no longer have need of it, and thus saw fit to return it to us. Harboring the power of light, it could well aid us in our mission in the Void. And who better to bear Hydaelyn's gift than her chosen champion?
If there is nothing left to discuss, then let us depart. Our boat awaits us in Akyali.
Proceed.
I shall now lift the seal. In the name of Al-Zadal III, I cast open this door unto the void!
Go. Absorb the Void Gate.
It grew a little bit.
It worked. We should have no trouble passing through a gate of that size.
What can we expect to find after stepping through?
No idea.
On my previous foray, I emerged in a castle swarming with void scent. I was hopelessly outnumbered and forced to turn back. But together, I am confident we can hold our own. Upon our arrival, let us deal with any hostile entities and secure the area. The command of our mission, I leave in your capable hands. In the event of battle, I shall adapt my tactics to complement your own.
Should we require healing, I can provide it. 'Twould be a welcome change of pace from my recent havoc wreaking.
Take heart, my friends, and have faith. We will brave this broken world, and rescue my sister Ajdaya.
There we are. Okay, so the question now becomes, do I want to call it there? Or do I want to do some side missions? I will be on tomorrow. Whether or not it's Final Fantasy is another story, but I will be on at some point tomorrow. Sounds like I'll probably be able to do some in the morning, and then obviously at night I will be able to. I do have a ton of quests to do right now. Kind of thing I just call it there. Getting kind of tired. Could always just start the next one though. Oh, that's great. We'll start a little bit on this purple quest. I probably won't read them. It's a side quest sort of thing. You don't really read the side quests. There's too much reading in this game as it is. I guess we're going to do the Valcordotoria. Duty. Well, we're going to try to do it anyways. Duty finder. Well, that was an instant queue. Was not expecting it to go that quick. Ooh, that's bright. To infinity and beyond. Oh, wrong story. Yeah, as well put on TV when I go to bed. I do like those movies. Here's rest. I've wandered into my castle. Call me a rat. That was it. That was weird. Wrong button. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Press is rolling. Just cruising along here. Rolling, rolling, rolling down a river. Trojan Steward.
So the gate did open again, and delivered the most mouth-watering morsels.
Oh, isn't she pretty?
I am Scarmilione, Archfiend of Earth and first of Golbez's Circle of Four. Such pleasure I will take in delivering you unto your graves.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Your ether is mine! Breathe deep of your death! You must die! My blade thirsts for blood.
Oh crap, I missed that one because that was just my face.
Protect me, my minions! give you a taste of true despair! Stubborn mortals! Come, fill your lungs. No, I do not be defeated by you!
Done. Doo-doo-dee. Alright, we're going to do this cutscene, and then I think I'm going to call it like there.
This Scarmalione, he knew the gate had opened.
And not for the first time. He and his brethren must keep watch over the portal.
As we do ours, but to unflinchingly consume a fellow Voidsent. Like men, perhaps they form factions and fight amongst themselves.
The question is, what will the minions do? Your mistress is no more, and the one who consumed her we slew in turn. Do you still mean to try us?
I expect some Voidsent are more intelligent than others. Perhaps these ones simply do not understand our words.
Even beasts ought to understand strength.
There is much we do not know about Voidsent. If we are to survive their world, it would be wise to learn their ways.
Let's proceed with caution and learn what we can on the way.
Sage advice, my friend. 'Tis reassuring to have one so experienced with us. I am here, sister. Finally here. I will find you.
Yeah.
I swear it.
cherished memory. Let's talk to the show. This castle should serve as a base for operations now. Ere we set our sight elsewhere, let's see what there is to learn here. The warning scale exhibits no change. It should be safe to remain here and begin our search. But whether now I would sense Ajada were she remotely near, but there is nothing. May I not call to her, let her know you have come? Alas, the vessel is not capable of calling across vast distances. For that, I would require my true form. Even were it possible, a dragon's call is born upon ether. This liable to draw more avoidance to us. I see. In any case, there's little exploration to be done while we are confined to this isolated isle. I propose we begin by learning what we can from the castle's occupants. Understand if their ways may prove useful to our cause. Very well, let's hope a few of them are capable of speech. Let's also remain vigilant while we go about our inquiries. We reconvene afterwards. Alright, we're going to call it a night there. It was a good stream. Thanks for dropping in and stuff like that. Oh, it says that as far as wait for that. Says 4 more seconds on the ad. I'm gonna go ahead and end the Kick and YouTube stream since there's no one over there anyway, so I might as well just end those now.